Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason. As always, my co-host Zack Partridge.
Boom.
Zack, do you have a fight nickname?
So weird story, right? When I was signed with the other clothing company, he made me pick one. And since I'm the owner of Detail Sharks, we just went with the shark, and that was like what with my logo. And then somebody's like, "Why don't you do like the Great White?" I'm like, racial times.
That's a little
things are weird. It's a little the Great White. I'm like, don't really want that. So we left that one alone. So it's just the shark, and then we did the one fight, and then we went to Damage Plan, where the owner is sensible and doesn't make me have a nickname to put.
That's crazy.
I wanted you to be the Kaysville OG. Was my
oh yeah, the Kaysville OG.
Kaysville OG.
and because Scott said that I was a gangster, but I wasn't no West Texas gangster, and
jeez,
and whatever. And then Jen Snyder had like this post about that I needed a nickname, and she got the People's Champ on there, and I never said it, never put that down on anything. But if you go back to my last fight, that's how the guy announced me before I came out. He said the People's Champ.
Nice.
And,
Nice.
And I
sounds like Paul Wall, man.
And I don't know if that's gonna stick or what.
Real.
And I don't think this is gonna. I don't know. Like nicknames too, though. That's the other thing. Is at least with Jen's, like I don't love the People's Champ because that's The Rock, and I grew up idolizing The Rock.
Oh, that's true.
You know, but I feel like a nickname is given. You don't come up with your own nickname. Be like, I'm the assassin, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Your own corny WWE nickname, like
on UFC you can. UFC 4.
Yeah, but it's corny. Like you're pretending like you're a UFC fighter. So, but when you give yourself like your own nickname, like it's just dumb. So at least the People's Champ, at least somebody else gave me that nickname. I don't know.
I like that. So I guess I should welcome our guest. Second time on our show, Mr. Dalton Jensen, fellow
What's
MMA,
up, homie?
Former MMA head.
Yeah, that's right.
Owner of the Thinking Project podcast. Did I say it right?
Sir.
It is the Thinking Project, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Dude, how's that going?
Absolutely.
How's the podcast going? I mean, you're pumping them out.
Yeah, it's going really good. I got a little ahead of myself, pumping too many out sometimes, but
you're already up to
it's
like
going good,
40, though. Aren't you? Oh, close to 40?
Yeah, we're almost to 40. Yeah, man.
Crap, you're going to catch us and pass us.
Well, so the first time when it started, I got a few friends like you guys came on, which I really appreciate. And then I posted on this, Zack knows it, Connect Utah.
Connect Utah,
that Facebook page.
Yeah.
And overwhelmed. Like from the first time I posted, I'm still managing people who like want to come on. So it's just like everybody and their dog wanted to be on.
Isn't it interesting, the dynamic with podcasts, like too, like anybody could do it, right? Like literally me and Jason talked about it for well over a year.
Well over a year.
Yeah.
And I just never had the time to put it together. And then I even bought the equipment, but never had the time to set up. And finally Jason sets it all up and he's like, we're doing it. Like, get your ass here. And then it just turns into it. So, it's pretty.
And then like when you mention, yeah, exactly. When you mention that, like, hey, I want you to be on a podcast, everybody thinks it's like this crazy. They're like, absolutely, yes, get me on right now.
Yeah.
And so got like 50 people, and I'm like, whoa. But it's been cool, man. It's been a lot of fun. We're just chilling, rocking.
Man. Love it.
Yes, sir. And of course, big fan of your guys's. I listen all the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We're just trying to get better every time, man.
That's right, dude.
Make it. We have, which I'm sure you heard the podcast from last week. We have some huge fights coming up in Utah.
Yeah, in November.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
gonna be stellar,
man. When we're already lining up, we got 3 guys already scheduled to come on the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Half of the main event already. We're gonna.
That's cool.
We're gonna have Zack Partridge on.
Zack.
You have to have your own. You have to have your own fighter spotlight.
That's I though? Right. You know what? Maybe this should be my fighter spotlight with the 2 people interviewing me.
Ooh.
There you go. Me and Dalton will interview you.
Yeah. Who are you fighting again?
His name is Johan Rubio, 8-0 fighter out of Jeremy Horn's gym.
You saw him fight. He fought. We watched him fight Tanner at FitCon.
Was that the main event at FitCon?
Yes, it was.
Oh, he likes that full mount, homie. He likes to take you down and mount. That was what got the guy, right? Was that the right fight?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
I think Zach's cardio might gonna be a little bit better than Tanner's was.
No, I think so. But I mean, Tanner didn't look like he knew how to defend a takedown that well,
Well,
or defend the mount.
Let me be totally fair.
All right, deal.
Because I'm going to be fair because Tanner is one of my best friends at the gym.
Yeah.
He's
I
my
wasn't
homie.
meaning disrespectfully.
The dude was my homie. But so I will say this: Tanner does not train in grappling a whole lot.
Okay.
And doesn't enjoy it, doesn't like it. He's
Okay.
a monster to take down. But if you can get him down, then people, his opponents have shown to be able to have success there. All three of his losses have come via ground and pound or submission. So, in that fight, there were some things that I saw though that, you know, Tanner has some skills and some God-given ability, but some athleticism that, you know, I don't have and will never have.
Yeah.
I can work the rest of my life and I will never have his hand speed and his power and explosiveness. But the things that I can control, there are things in that I saw in that fight that I felt like I would have been a little bit better equipped to handle in that matchup. The other thing is, I will say this. It's not an excuse because it's an MMA fight and it doesn't really matter. But I actually think that the ring and the ropes having the give that they did. I thought the second takedown happened a little bit more because of the ropes than if there was a cage. I don't think Tanner gets taken to the ground.
I will say that too. I told Jason that. I was like, I probably wouldn't have taken a fight like that in that kind of
same thing with Ken, same thing with Kent's
fight too.
Yeah.
When those ropes have so much give on them. Sorry, I'm like,
yeah.
But, you know, those ropes have so much give on them where a cage doesn't.
Yeah, man.
You're like leaning on something that's solid and it gives. It's really easy to lose your balance there when you have another, you know, 200 plus man like Kent,
oh, for sure,
you know, leaning on you.
Sure.
And maybe he would, and I'm not trying to take anything from Johan because he had a good game plan. He was tough. He took Tanner's best shots, which I'm super impressed with. You know, I was super impressed with his ability to kind of stay in the fight. He was tough. He had some, you know, he landed some good shots on Tanner of his own, but he did a very, very good job exploiting, you know, what was his strength, his wrestling and grappling versus what Tanner's weakness was. And I give him props for that. I have a lot of respect for him. Like I told Cody, I want this fight because it's a step up and
it's a challenge. Yeah.
I'm not in this sport to take easy fights and just try and pad a nice AMI record, you know?
Yeah. Good for you.
I heard rumblings about my first title fight. You know, I took a fight against a really tough guy who unfortunately got injured and they replaced him with somebody that I knew I was going to beat and I wasn't worried about, you know?
Yeah.
And I heard that too, you know, I heard that oh, you were given an easy fight for your first title fight. And it bugs me. And so win or lose this fight, either way, nobody's going to say it was an easy fight. The dude's freaking 8-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding, man. Good for you.
And he trains out of Jeremy Horn's gym too. So, you know,
freaking Jeremy Horn's in his corner. Guy's still fighting. He's
no kidding. Jeez.
So I'm assuming you guys watched the fights this last weekend.
I did. I watched the main event. Well, like the whole main event card.
The main card.
The whole main card.
There were some pretty good fights on the undercard too that kind of stood out. That Casey Kenny fight, man.
Those ribs, that dude's gonna be pissing blood.
Did you see that, Dalton?
No,
did you see the picture of his ribs? He must have kicked him.
Yes, I saw the picture of his ribs. I didn't watch the fight, but dang, bro.
He had his toes indented on his ribs. Like he kicked him at least 40 times.
Yeah, no, sir.
I mean, props to that guy for taking those shots because he kept coming. Yeah. He didn't stop. He just kept coming.
Jeez.
Who else?
That hurts you. That hurts your foot too, man. By the way, just like I've done some of those toe kicks, front toe kick, body kicks, and chest kicks. That hurts, man.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Good
You know,
for him.
what was a really good fight was that Jordan Williams and
That was a dog fight.
Mavov. That was a great fight, back and forth.
Fight.
Jordan Williams is a dog, man.
He let us down a little bit. We had a few dollars on him, and he let us down a little bit.
I actually
but he never quit because you son of a.
We did our podcast, Dalton, the last week on this, and I actually picked Jordan Williams because I'm like, man, I was impressed with what he did on the Contender Series, and then about 10 minutes before the fight, I was like, I just got a feeling he's just going to lose this one, man, and so
new rule.
Zack's like, you didn't tell me. I'm like,
new rule.
Right.
We're going to call a switch like that. You have to text the other person, Jason.
I told you, I thought I saw it on your message, and I was wrong. So
oh, geez.
I was wrong. So I didn't lose on that fight.
That Flint, Michigan education right there, pal.
Yeah.
Read it wrong.
Yeah.
It was a good fight.
Kulabau and Jourdain was a good fight. Great back and forth fight too.
That was
a draw. That was the one that ended
draw because of a low blow, right? Is there a point taken away from that low blow?
I don't think there was a point taken away. Maybe I missed it. I didn't think there was a point taken away.
Okay. I know there's a bad nut shot, but
Kulabau fought. He fought Jalen Turner, so he cut a bunch of weight to fight this fight.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And then, of course, the main fight on the prelims was our guy Court McGee and Carlos Condit. Did you watch that one, Dalton?
No, I didn't. So here's what happened on Saturday, man. Life happened. My kids were going crazy. Life just happened on Saturday, bro. I was kind of frustrated.
Can I preface this with this fight?
Yeah.
I've said this a billion times. If you have a strength or an advantage in a fight, why fighters don't use it, it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Like they got something to prove. Like
they got something to prove.
Yeah. You said I wasn't a good striker. So now I'm going to, even though my whole game is ground.
Now, Carlos Conduit is a murderer on the feet, or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And Court McGee is known for pressure, wrestling, his wrestling, his pressure. His striking, I will say this, it's basic, but it's effective for his style. He has a great jab, and he has a great cross. And, he throws really nice. He actually has a really nice high kick with his front leg too. He's got some weapons on his feet, but it's like he didn't even attempt a takedown and maybe I don't know something. I'm missing something. I am not going to even begin to assume that I know anything more or critique Court McGee's fight IQ. He's the man. So sometimes when we're sitting here on these podcasts playing armchair quarterback, we don't have all the information, but man, that was a frustrating fight to watch.
Yeah. Cause we all had Court McGee winning that fight. We all thought it was going to be easy.
I thought Court was going to be able to get him up against the cage, take him down, kind of maul him on the ground, and just kind of do what he wanted with him. And maybe Conduit's range control was just Court was disciplined enough to not take a bad shot. I don't know. And that might be something that I'm missing. But
you think Court was, you think he was worried about any knees coming up the middle? Even with that,
it's possible. Just Carlos's style, because of how he's pretty unpredictable, switching stances and stuff. A guy like that, sometimes it's hard to shoot on. I don't know. Maybe Court felt like he was doing all right on his feet. And I thought he was too. He got sat down.
Yeah. At the end of the first round, he got caught, broke his nose. And
then said it himself.
He said it back himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Gangster.
Jeez.
Well, so now what? Condit, you think he gets another fight? You maybe throw him in with Nick Diaz maybe?
Ooh.
Next?
Nick Diaz is only coming back for big money fights though. And I'm sorry, Carlos Conduit is not a big money fight anymore.
Right.
I mean, 8 years ago, that's a pay-per-view main event. 2020.
Yeah.
That's a main event on the prelims.
Yeah. I got to agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Bro. Yeah.
Where does he go from here? What's next for Carlos? I mean,
I got the name for you.
Shoot.
He called him out. Mike Brown.
Oh, Mike Brown. I like that.
Mike Brown said, when I'm healthy,
that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I like that.
They're kind of the same part of their career. Mike Brown's been a little winning a little bit more, but I mean, that's fun. That's fun.
That'd be sweet.
I mean, let's be honest. Is Carlos Conduit getting back into the title picture at 170?
No.
Not a chance. So now it's fun fights. What's fun? Mike Brown's a fun fight.
Mike Brown. I like that.
Diego Sanchez.
Oh gosh, stop.
Give him Chimaev. Give him Chimaev.
Chimaev. That guy's a beast.
Sorry, Dalton, you forgot the rule. I get Chimaev his name on this podcast every 10 minutes.
Yeah, every time.
Just my rule.
Zach's on the bandwagon.
I'm all about the Chimaev hype train, baby. I love that guy.
Except his homie, if you're the last week, not this past fight, the previous fight before that, his homie from the same gym got worked. That was nobody had him winning that fight. Or excuse me, no one had him losing that fight.
Oh, I think I remember that. Was that the guy that did he have Khabib in his corner?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember.
And Khabib was getting so pissed. Yeah. This guy couldn't take him down to save his life. Yep. And that surprised the heck out of me, man. Coming out of Khabib's camp and not being able to take someone down like that.
It was the guy that fought Hakeem Dawadi or whatever his name was. Yeah, I remember.
You know why the guy lost the fight?
Go ahead.
He's lost so many rounds to Chimaev in the room. His confidence is gone.
Well, I know one thing right now.
Chimaev racks up L's for everybody he fights and everybody that trains with him.
Oh man!
Dude, I'll tell you what. That dude's carrying boulders in the Serbian desert, or excuse me, the Serbian wilderness right now, bro. They're not letting him freaking out.
Those guys.
I've seen some of those guys.
Those guys are a different breed from over there, man.
Those guys from Dagestan, bro. Unreal.
Let's get into the main card. I think we all knew which way this one was going to go. The Tororovic. I think everybody knew what was going to happen in that one.
Did Tusko though? Man, he looked like he was trying to like engage a firefight, and just Townsend wouldn't like bring it. Because dude, his hands were pretty low, and he kept bobbing his head in at him, like, "Come on, hit me, dude! Like, come on!" And he wouldn't fire. But dude, Tusko.
That one ended on a ground and pound, right?
Yeah,
it was like a night of full mounts.
Round 2, it was round 2.
Yeah. Night of full mounts and ground and pound submissions.
That guy's he's 10-0 now.
Yeah,
that was his first UFC fight too. I'm curious to see
he did the Contender Series first, right? And then
he
got
in.
Dude, he's like this baby face Bond villain looking dude.
He really is.
He really is, bro.
Dude, he's a problem though. Like he fights super confident. You know what I really like with some of these young fighters? They fight super confident, and he looked like he just had a confidence. Like he knew, he's like, this guy could hit me, and I'll just hit him right back. Like it's no big deal. And he just kind of just plodded forward at him. I actually really liked I enjoyed his fighting style. Hey, remember on our podcast breakdown, Jason, when you said you liked Cameron Eltz and that he had a shot against Kyler Phillips?
Hey, I can't pick them all right. I winged it. I thought maybe it was a prayer. There's been worse things that have happened in the UFC. There's been worse losses in the UFC. So
I was just asking if you remembered saying that.
I missed that. I missed I got your text, and one of my buddies stopped by to pick something up, and he was talking to me, and I was watching it in my room, so I didn't have my living room TV turned on. So I'm like, and you text, and I was wrong.
I'm telling you, those kids that fought on that season of The Ultimate Fighter are a giant problem for those divisions. Those 145, 150 fighters that fought on that undefeated season with The Ultimate Fighter, they were in a house of killers. Dude, the ones that rose to the top, and Kyler Phillips was one of the ones that had a good showing. Man, they're freaking monsters.
He worked Cameron Ells, dude.
Yeah, that was Yeah, I was wrong.
That was sweet, man.
I missed a lot on this card. I missed the very first fight of the night. I think we all missed that one. I picked Yu Frey to win, but we know why I picked her to win, so we're not going to count that. I was wrong on Jordan Williams.
I actually think I talked you into the Yu Frey stuff, but she didn't do bad.
She didn't. Luke Boon Me's stand-up is legit.
Yeah, it is.
She was picking her apart.
But I'm just saying, like, it wasn't a bad pick.
But back to Carla Phillips, so impressive, man. Yeah, those guys are dogs on that undefeated season, man.
Those dudes that have risen up from that, like, they're no joke.
Yeah, I would agree. Kyla Phillips was very well.
But just think about the training that they got every day. Kyler Phillips, and he was on team.
I don't remember.
I believe he was on Team Miocic, but Mike Trezano. They had Tyler Diamond's on that season. You got Violent Bob Ross is on that season. You have Bryce Mitchell's on that season. There's a list of killers, and it's just iron sharpens iron. I think all of them, if they didn't mentally go crazy in that house, physically and their skills just got exponentially better having that training for the 4 to 6 weeks they were in that house.
For sure. I mean, look at Bryce Mitchell. Sure. Bryce Mitchell's got a fight with Andre Feely coming up soon.
Oh my gosh.
It's a big step up for him.
How about Jermaine Duranamy with the submission? Anybody?
Hey, that was sick.
Did you almost see that Von Flue choke?
Yeah, she almost got that Von Flue choke. It was like the last second she had it set in.
She had it set too, and Penny was almost out.
And it wasn't just the submission. It's like she put her to sleep with that guillotine choke. Like,
put her to sleep with the guillotine, and she wasn't like a ground game chick.
No, she's a kickboxer.
Previous to this.
Yeah,
she's a Muay Thai kickboxer.
Yeah,
she holds a win. How about this? She holds a win over a dude in a Muay Thai fight.
It's crazy.
You know that?
Good for her.
She knocked out a dude in a Muay Thai fight. She fought a dude.
Her right hand, she's got some power in her right hand because she was touching. Yeah. She was just touching Pena, and she was wobbling her.
She cracks.
Yeah. That was fun to watch.
I'm excited to see her and Holly Holm, which we'll get into Holly's fight in a minute. But man, her and Holly with that rematch,
that would be fun to see.
We'll talk about that after.
The next fight was Carlos Felipe and De Castro, and man, we should have seen this coming, Zach.
Why?
I don't know how we missed that. I don't know how we missed that. Because
Castro's belly looks like he's like.
De Castro's at 180. De Castro should be fighting 205. Like
maybe 185.
Yeah.
Maybe 185.
Yeah, maybe even 185. He just
got a solid 50 pounds in that gut that's just flopping all over.
I think I was
you look sold. Like me before I started training.
I was sold on that counter right from that he hit Justin Taffa with. And man, I think we missed the boat on that one.
The sad thing is, was that Jorgen's peak in the UFC, that knockout?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jorgen was backing up a little too much for me. He wasn't circling. He was getting up against the ref had to pull him off a few times. And I was yelling at my TV. I was like, I got back to my old wrestling days where I was like, circle, and he's just right back up.
What else sold me was I knew he had the leg kicks because he beat that Meeks guy on the Contender Series with leg kicks. Yeah, so I'm thinking, man, this guy's got some power. He's got some leg kicks. But Felipe, I mean, dude, he's only 25 years old.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
Jorgen De Castro.
I got a son his age.
Jorgen De Castro.
I'm only a year older.
Because you're old.
Are you really?
I'm 26. I'm 26, bro. You knew that, though. You knew that.
I did know that. Man, you guys are making me feel old.
Let's just say this, though. Jorgen De Castro, though, I just will say this. He's just fought those last 6 rounds with Greg Hardy and that Felipe guy and has never even been wobbled by anything.
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, though. He's got a chin.
So if you could take those shots, maybe if he could fix his cardio and some things, he could get on a good track.
He might not be done because of the heavyweight division. There's not a big pool of fighters in that heavyweight division right now. So he might get lucky and get another fight. But if he has another poor performance, then.
So who do you want to see Felipe fight next? I got a name.
Go ahead, shoot, since you got a name already.
Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
I like that.
Did Ty lose his last fight though? Wasn't his last fight in New Zealand?
I think last 3 fights. I think he's on a 3-fight skid.
Yeah, I think he is too.
But I watched what fight was he when he was on the Izzy card? Well, they were in New Zealand.
He lost to some dude.
I know, but he got knocked out, and I was super sad.
I'm always sad when he loses. I love Tai Tuivasa.
You know those tattoos he's got, those Maori tattoos.
Are they
those
traditional?
aren't a joke, man.
He did the traditional
whalebone, gnarly, and those go into your pelvis, and
that's no joke.
On the top of your legs, hip bones.
I have both. I have both my ribs done, and it does not feel good in that area at all.
Dude, I was dying. I just got my shoulder.
Let's see. Where's yeah, can you pull it up, or no? Is it all wrapped up?
No, it's not wrapped up, but it's not very hot.
It's all scabbing and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You said you're going all the way down or 3/4?
No, half.
You say half now, but
half now. I do, but those guys are prosthetic tattoos.
That's what I said. I said only one speed. Now I got 2, and I got my chest done, and I got my back done. Midlife crisis, man. I'm gonna be driving a Corvette soon too.
That's right. Get out of here.
Mazda Miata.
The Miata.
Oh, dude.
That's awesome.
You're talking about you're like in your 40s. You're way past your midlife.
Oh, that hurts, Zach.
Yeah,
dude, I'm approaching my midlife. Calm down.
Yeah.
I turned 32 this month.
So the main event.
Oh no.
Dude, Holly Holm.
Yeah.
I think she beats anybody on that night. Like
she looked good.
She looked freaking impressive. Well, let me say this.
Pressure.
He looked good, or did Aldana just look freaking horrible?
No, Holly looked good.
Holly just picked her apart. The experience. They talked about it somebody talked about it. They did an interview, and I think that experience, that cage time, it comes into play with the majority of the time, not all the time. Well, one being the first fight of the night, that Luigi and that Ayari guy. I thought Ayari, having the experience, having fought in the UFC, would have won, and Luigi came in there and shocked it. But that's going to happen. We know that.
Right.
But Holm she was on another level, man. She did not let Aldana get anything.
Yeah.
And I thought Aldana was going to, I was impressed with her last fight. She flatlined Vieira. Was it Vieira was her last name? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Vieira flatlines her with a left hook. So I thought, maybe Holly's on a down slide. Maybe she doesn't,
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah. She looked she kept the pressure on. She was very smart too. A couple of times when she got the takedown and she her opponent was getting back up, you saw her almost throw a kick a couple of times, but came in with punches instead, took her right back down. She had a lot of pressure, man. It was really good. And then she just kept rushing her. Like every time she would miss, rush into the cage for a takedown.
Aldana had the second highest takedown defense ratio, but next to under John Jones in the UFC, and Holmes was like 5 for 5, 6 for 6 in takedowns.
Yeah,
5 for 5.
Yeah.
She just,
which is nuts, man. That's tough, dude. Like takedowns.
I just want to explain some things because everybody keeps writing off Holly Holm, and I don't understand why. I really don't. I mean, and I get that if you look at her Tapology, she has these 5 losses in her last 9 fights, and people are like,
look her there too, though.
Maybe she's done.
Yeah. Misha, right?
Yeah.
She's beating Misha that whole fight. She was beating Misha Tate that whole fight, and Misha pulls off the Hail Mary rear naked choke. And I love Misha, and she's my all-time favorite female fighter for multiple reasons. But I love Misha Tate. But Holly Holm was winning that whole fight. She goes unanimous decision with Valentina. Okay, pound for pound, I think Valentina is the best women's fighter ever.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why Nunez beats her is because Nunez is bigger.
Yeah.
But skill for skill, I'll take Valentina all day. Duran to me. That fight was
controversy.
Crap. No, there's no controversy. The fact that Jermaine Durandamy did not get points taken away for hitting her twice after the bell is complete crap.
Yep.
And I'm trying to not hold it too much against Jermaine Durandamy, but like I haven't liked her since that fight. And then she never fought Chris Cyborg. So she head kicks Betch Correia, and then she fights Cyborg. It's the first girl that Cyborg like can't put away.
Yeah. Holly Holmes is tough, man.
Went 5 rounds with Chris Cyborg. And then she gets caught with Amanda Nunes. If anybody deserves a rematch with Amanda Nunes, it's Holly Holm.
Yeah.
She fights like she did Saturday.
She fought like when Holly Holm in this fight reminded me of when she fought Rousey. She looked like when she fought Rousey and beat Rousey.
The only bummer is Holly is 0 for 4 in her last 4 title fights. I think she needs to win and win convincingly against somebody like Jermaine Durand. I'm worried that the UFC is going to keep like giving somebody else a shot, and then if nobody else is there, Holly might get a chance. But she needs to make it. She needs to make it so she's undeniably given that shot. And that's actually, there's not really a fight with Amanda Nunes that I want to see other than Holly Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything more dangerous than a veteran fighter that's hungry? Like Holly Holm is?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Anything more dangerous?
She's going to be on a roll. This is going to be on a roll.
I mean, you could say she's 38. She's getting a little bit older, but
she looks phenomenal.
Phenomenal shape. Like somebody tweeted something that USADA like tested her 37 times and it was all John Jones, like something like that. 50 times. Yeah. 37
times and 37 of them were John.
Yeah. She's ripped, man. She's
tough, dude. That was a fun fight to watch.
I will just have to say it. I regret it. I shouldn't have. I doubted it. I doubted her, and that's not going to happen again. It won't happen again.
I think we all agree, though. It should be her and Jermaine Durandamy for a #1 contender fight, right?
I think so.
So how do you see that fight going?
I think Holly Holm wins.
Oh, Holly Holm.
With her takedowns? Yeah. The takedowns is going to be the difference.
Yeah, because Jermaine, she's not very good on the ground. Like she looked good in this fight on the ground, but not against Holly Holmes on the ground.
But I just think that if you're Holly Holm too, look at what she's transformed herself into. Like she beat Megan Anderson at 145. She took Megan Anderson down and beat her up on the ground in that fight. If you remember, she went from being a world-class kickboxer to she is now turning into a world-class MMA fighter. It's not just kickboxing. She's not brawling, sprawling anymore or whatever and avoiding the ground.
Yeah.
She's good on the ground now. And she's developed that part of her game, and she's at a legit camp where they've turned her into a complete mixed martial artist now. And she's shown that like she has legit wrestling. She has legit jujitsu. Like she's legit everywhere now, and she's still an elite striker.
How impressive is it that she's been with Winkle John for 22 years? 16-year-old kid walked into the gym, and now look at her. It's impressive.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. Shoot.
What'd you guys think of Leon Edwards supposedly turning down a fight with Stephen Thompson?
What?
Yeah, he said it doesn't interest him, is what everybody's tweeting on the Twitter.
Well, that's funny, Leon Edwards, because you're not interesting to anybody else. Doesn't interest him. Shut up and take the fight.
Yeah,
go beat Wonder Boy. Force your name into that mix. But right now, everybody talks about Leon Edwards overpass. And I did too. Jason and I have talked about it. Like he's been overlooked. Probably too much. But
yes.
Let's just look at it, right? He's on a 8 fight winning streak. Last person he lost to is to Kamaru Usman. Fine. And then before that had 2 wins in the UFC. I mean, he's tough, dude. Like he's really tough, but he holds wins over Seth Pazinski, Ultimate Fighter contestant. Couldn't cut it in the UFC. Big win over Vicente Luque, unanimous decision. That's really cool.
That's impressive, yeah.
Unanimous decision over Donald Cerrone. Very cool. Split decision over Gunnar Nelson. Not even a top 15 guy. Okay. And then another unanimous decision over RDA, who's past his prime and fighting at 170 when he's really probably a 155er, really kind of a tweener, but he's a real small 170er. Leon Edwards, dude, it's like your biggest win is against Donald Cerrone, and that's great. But like he's not finishing guys either.
Right. It's not like fight of the night or anything. It's just barely by the hairs on your chin, dude.
He's boring.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah. So the fact that he's turning down a fight is just like, do you just want attention? Is this another Colby thing where he's going to try to change his whole thing?
He should.
Yeah, he needs to.
100% should take a leaf out of Colby Covington's playbook and turn it into a full-on good guy or a full-on bad guy. Probably a full-on bad guy, and just start talking smack. He's British, right? So he should be talking smack on Americans and get all of America to hate him. And he should become the bad guy in the hill and make Colby look like the good guy and let America get behind Colby and everybody hate him and force that fight. Because everybody right now wants to see Colby and Jorge, but I don't think it would take much for people to want to see Colby shut up. Leon.
Hey, people were making fun of me for that, but I think Jorge beats Colby.
I said the same thing.
I think Jorge beats Colby, man.
I don't think so.
Right, Jason?
Jorge's mean. Jorge's mean.
He's got a shot. He's
big, bro. He's mean.
He's got a shot. I just think it ends the same way the Usman fight did. I think Kobe's too. Yeah, I
think like Jorge gets in his head sometimes.
Yeah.
But man, if he can get out of his head and fight Colby, I think he beats Colby. I think he does, bro. On a good night, I know that you can't say that, right? But on like a perfect night, the stars align, everybody's fighting good, I think Jorge wins, man.
Okay, Jason.
What?
If they fought 10 times, how many times do you think Jorge could win?
I would say out of 10 times, Jorge maybe beats him 3 times, 2 or 3 times, 2 times, maybe. I just think I love Jorge's stand-up. Obviously, I think he's great stand-up.
Yeah.
But I just think he's going to get that pressure from Colby. He's going to get pushed up against the cage. Eventually, Colby's going to get the takedown, or he's just going to grind him out like he did with Usman. The only way I think Jorge beats him is if he gets cocky and tries to stand with him. Then he's going to get lit up. Like I don't even know if he gets lit up. I don't think Colby has the power to knock him out. Kind of like Usman. I think he just pop shots people, and I don't think he carries a bunch of power in his hands. I just think he's aggressive and he's high volume pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think in a 5-round fight,
I thought when Jorge fought Kamaru, I thought Jorge was in his own head. Like I thought that he let the title fight, that whole vibe that follows the title fight and is around the title fight, I thought he let that get in his head a little too much.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get knocked out.
No, he didn't get knocked out. And he actually, Usman only took him down once or twice. Like he didn't really.
Yeah.
His takedown defense was pretty good. Masvidal's takedown defense was
I thought
pretty good.
And like Kamaru wasn't doing like anything crazy. Like there was no spectacular like, oh man, he beat the crap out of him. Yeah. This is what I said the last time I was on the podcast though. Like unless you beat the champ, like you knock him out or it's just obvious, like decision goes to the defending champ.
Yeah. You gotta walk in there and really do some damage. That's just me though. He definitely didn't do it.
Jorge didn't. I'm just saying he heard the footsteps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was a big fight for him. It was a huge fight for him.
Yeah.
But him and Colby, man, the press conference, the smack talk is going to be, what's really cool is they both are Trump supporters. So it's going to be more of a bad blood you know, because of their
They
friendship.
just don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
They
That's
don't
gonna
like
be the
each
fun
other
part.
at all.
Hey,
man.
how about what Justin Gaethje said? Did you see what Justin Gaethje said about Colby Covington?
Oh, he hates him. Yeah, he said he hates him.
Because he realized how fake he was, and he's like, "There's not a man on the planet that I want to smack more right now than Colby Covington."
He needs to worry about Khabib.
Yeah,
You shouldn't even be talking about Colby.
dude.
Well,
worry-
no,
you
they
worry
did the
about the
little
ego.
Trump.
For
They
as
did,
much as-
they did a little Trump press tour together,
The
right?
ego.
And somebody asked how it was, and he just like, I can't stand him. I don't think he's worried about him. He's not talking about going up to 170 to fight him. Which, by the way, I would take Justin Gaethje in that fight. But
Yeah, I would too. Just in case he's big. He's got a lot of. Oh man, who wins Gaethje and Khabib? I just want your guys' thoughts.
The
It could be
ego.
the eagle.
I think it's going to be very similar to Dustin Poirier fight.
you watch your mouth.
Dude, I am
You watch
now
your
watching
mouth.
me be wrong again. I'm going to have
Well-
to replay this, and I'm going to
lover.
be totally wrong again.
No.
I've watched
I
every.
think-
Go ahead.
I think Gaethje's got a real chance because he is a wrestler. Like Dustin Poirier didn't have the ground game
That's true.
or the defense that Justin has. And I've always said this, and I will always say it. And Khabib will probably retire from the UFC undefeated. But all I'm saying is, if you stop him from taking you down, you'll beat Khabib. You'll beat him. If he can't take you down, Khabib's nothing.
No,
And
no,
Habib said that he was going to take him down to like the gates of hell. Like Justin Gaethje.
Cormier says there's nobody in the UFC that's stopping his takedown from 155 to 205.
but-
Nobody.
From 205, get out of here. From
He
205.
did. Maybe it was 185.
Get
I
out.
could have swore he said up to 205. He said eventually he will get them down. This is coming
Okay.
from Daniel Cormier, DC. I know they train.
Yeah,
him.
no.
I was about to
might
say
be a
he's
little
not
biased.
biased at all. Is
Might
he?
be a little biased, but I rewatched all of his fights
Okay.
before.
No, he's good. Like, no, Khabib's those guys. I've seen one of those Dagestani training camps, bro. They're unreal.
And you know he's going to be on an extra high with his father passing away. I mean, I guess you could look at it two ways. He could be on a, but I think it even elevates him even more. And he's just not going to want to lose that fight, man. And don't get me wrong, I love Gaethje.
Let me just paint a scenario for you.
Go ahead, do it, Zack.
Because Gaethje's correct about Justin Gaethje is the first person that has pointed out keys of why he can be successful in this fight, right? Everybody can say, well, I got it, I got a circle. I can't let my back get up against the cage. I can't do this. I can't do that. I mean, I remember watching the Conor fight at one point. Conor bumped the cage with his back as he was circling. And I'm like, get off the cage. And right as I said it, Khabib shoots and takes him down. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows what they have to do, but knowing what they have to do to defend Khabib and doing it are two totally different things. The difference with Gaethje is he is explaining things that he can do offensively to stop it. And he comes out and he says, dude, those leg kicks will compromise his movement and how he moves.
Good.
If Gaethje starts landing some of those leg kicks early and he can throw those and effectively land 3 to 5 of those in the first round, it does compromise Khabib's ability to take shots.
Yeah. The problem, Justin Gaethje though, I think he just gets a little too hot-headed. He hasn't had that many fights in the UFC, and he lost to Dustin Poirier.
So,
I don't know. Gaethje probably wins that rematch.
I would like to see that rematch.
I'm just saying, the Justin Gaethje that fought Tony Ferguson, I'll literally take him over everybody besides. I'll take that striking over anybody besides Conor.
His striking was crisp in that. It was crisp.
Yeah.
I just think Khabib's going to be too much for him, man.
Eventually, I know you do because you're a Khabib nut rider.
I do love Gaethje. I mean, I love Gaethje. How can you not love Gaethje and what they got going on out there in Denver?
It's just Gaethje. So we talked about this last time. Dalton, you were on. Russians, they're different, right? Like, they're a harder people.
Yes.
And to match that, we're just soft here. Like, we just, as a
True.
whole, as a people, we don't match that here.
True.
Yeah.
Even Dustin Poirier, gangster, Like look at all of his fights, like his resume, like fight of the night, fight of the night, fight of the night, first team all violence. Like he goes to war with people. But there's like a kindness to him, you know. Gaethje's a harder person. Like I think he's built as like I think he's built like internally,
dude. It's all
different.
Mindset, man. It's really like mindset,
he has a different level mindset, and you're never gonna get him to quit.
Yeah. I think if Gaethje loses to Khabib, it'll be like Tony losing to Gaethje, because like Tony was just taking punishment, man, and he just would not give up. Like he knew, but he couldn't do it.
I'm excited for it. That's all I
know. Dude, it's awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And then,
what do we got? 2 weeks, right?
The 24th, 3 weeks.
24th, yeah, 3 weeks.
So Dana said he has something special for Khabib after.
God, what could it be?
GSP.
He looked pretty damn crazy on his Instagram post, freaking flipping around on those damn bars.
GSP he looks slim. GSP looks like he's preparing for 155 to me.
That'd be a big fight.
Big money fight. I told you, if it's GSP, I'm going to say that I was right. Khabib fights 1 or 2 more times. One of them's a huge money fight, and then he's out.
So, but the reason is, so Dana,
because that's a money fight.
Dana wouldn't let GSP come back again, right? Because he wanted GSP. He told GSP, if you fight, you're going to defend the 185 title. And GSP said yes, but he had so much problems keeping the weight on. He's like, I can't stay at 185 after he beat Bisping, and he vacates the title, right? Dana didn't like that. And he said, then I'm not bringing you back ever again. But if Khabib says, I only have one more fight, this is it. It doesn't matter.
The money fight, man.
It doesn't matter if the title gets vacated, because Khabib wins if it's vacated, GSP wins it's vacated. It's a win-win for everybody. And then Connor's and whoever wins. It gets vacated, and then Connor fights whoever for it, and Dana gets
it back, and
Dana gets his cake and eat it too. That's what I think is going to happen.
Uh-huh.
How do you?
But I was right.
You think? How do you
Khabib
see that
takes
fight
a huge
going?
money fight and walks away.
What's that?
That would be a highly technical. On paper, well, just from looking at the names on paper, I bet you that's, to the casual fan, they're going to think that's a boring fight.
Oh no, it'll be a great fight.
You think so? I think to the casual fan.
Oh yes. To
the not like us. We're watching that fight. Oh, yeah. It's like technically probably one of the most technical fights
you'll watch ever.
Yeah, like.
So, but we're saying all this too. We're saying all of this, assuming that Khabib wins.
What if Gaethje pulls it off? What if he pulls off?
Gaethje pulls it off? He ruins everything. GSP's just sitting there with his wing in his hand, like, oh dang.
Yeah. Goes to McDonald's after Gaethje beats his Khabib or something, dude. Because I don't know, man. I think
USA.
If Gaethje can, if I were Gaethje, I'd be bringing in every wrestler that I could think of.
Khabib's like a 2.5 to 1 favorite. He's a pretty big favorite.
Oh, I want it bigger. I was hoping for bigger.
Yeah, I think it was 2. I think he was. Come on, A's. Let's go Oakland. I may or may not have put a little money. Let me see. Let's look at the odds on that, and I'll tell you what they are right now. I'm pulling it up. Let's see. UFC 253. Khabib's minus 280. He's almost 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Plus 225 to Justin.
That feels about right.
I might have to sprinkle a little bit on Gaethje on that one.
He's a live underdog.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to know what else? It's favored to go under. Like it's minus 165 under 4.5 rounds. They see this fight not going to decision.
That and that's very, very simple because of Gaethje's output. Either he's gonna wear himself out and Khabib's gonna drag him and finish him. Or
listen, if I'm Gaethje, I'm calling all the top wrestlers in the world, like including Jordan Burroughs, who's like the nastiest wrestler right now alive. Oh, yeah. And we're going, and all we're doing is takedown defense. Dang it, we're gonna spend We're going to spend 3 or 4 hours because have you seen Jordan Burrow wrestle?
I have.
That dude's unreal.
I saw him mop Ben Askren in their little exhibition.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Dude, listen, I like Ben.
Mopped Ben Askren.
Dude, Jordan Burrow's #1 in the history. Like even more than, someone like Dan Gable or Rulon Gardner, or like he's up there with those guys.
Okay.
For sure.
So
I met Dan Gable in my wrestling room, and we had 3 practices with Dan Gable.
That's pretty good.
And I would take Jordan Burrow over.
Wow.
But the other thing that people are overlooking, you listen to it was on the Joe Rogan podcast when Gaethje and Whitman were on there.
Yeah.
People ask him why he doesn't use his wrestling. Well, he does.
Yeah.
Just not in the conventional sense of like taking people down. Justin Gaethje is a defensive wrestler. That's what he was great at. He was never a great offensive wrestler. He was a defensive wrestler.
Sure.
He's never been taken down in the UFC.
Yeah.
Never been. And that's how he become, was he with JUCO national champ, because nobody could ever take him down.
He was good. Yeah. Gaethje's a great wrestler, man.
So it's like the unstoppable force versus the unmovable object, right?
Yeah, dude. Yep. It's going to be sweet, man.
And my money, I think you would be naive and be a little bit crazy to think that Khabib is not going to be able to score takedowns against Justin Gaethje. I do not believe that's the case.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Jason, go rewatch his fight with Ally Aquinta, Khabib's.
Okay. You think it's going to change?
Shut up. It gets to a point. There gets to a point where Khabib is going for takedowns against Ally Aquinta and can't get him anymore.
He owned Ally Aquinta.
No, watch the fight.
Didn't he just like demolish Ally Aquinta?
No.
I gotta go rewatch it.
No, but he had another.
Al survived the first 2-3 rounds, and then he started stopping the takedowns. And then in the 5th round, he kind of started hitting Khabib a little bit. I mean, he didn't win any rounds. Like, I'm not saying like he's going to win, but I'm saying if Justin Gaethje can have a better version of Ally Aquinta's game plan, Gaethje, there could be problems there. And if I'm Justin Gaethje, that's what I'm saying. He's going to take me down in the 1st round. He's probably going to take me down in the 2nd round. But as long as I can make him work for him enough that he's by the 3rd, 4th round, he's getting a little bit tired. The more tired person two tired people can, the person defending the takedown, it's a little bit easier than the person going. So and you start stopping. And then the punching conditioning it's different, right? Like you could be tired from grappling, but you could still throw effective punches. And Gaethje hits like a middleweight. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of money on a Gaethje knockout.
I think Gaethje wins. And this is why. When you remember,
I don't think he wins. I just think he has a chance.
No. I think Gaethje wins. Here's why though. Do you remember the Michael Johnson fight, the Michael Johnson Habib fight?
Yeah, I do.
Michael Johnson was doing good, man. Like he got submitted by a Kimura, but he was defending the wrestling for quite a while. And that's where I got this glimmer of like, dude, if you can hold him up, maybe you don't let him, maybe you don't successfully defend the takedown because like Khabib will take you down eventually. But if you can like defend the wrestling and just stay alive on the ground and find ways up, like Michael Johnson in those first couple rounds, like you got it. Michael Johnson was doing good against him as far as wrestling goes. Michael Johnson was a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's just what I think.
I'll probably sprinkle a little bit on Gaethje, but
yeah, you will.
I mean, I don't know, man. I rewatched his fights before Khabib's fights before his last fight he just had.
Yeah.
He does the same thing to everybody. He just same thing.
Well, remember, Michael Johnson beat Dustin Poirier too.
Yeah, true.
Michael Johnson lost to Gaethje.
Yeah.
I think MMA math doesn't work. Stop it. Can't do that.
What about dude, this week's card? I know we weren't going to talk about this, but I just wanted to touch on the main event this card because we'll probably do another podcast later on this week. Marlon Moraes and Corey Sandhagen. This is Saturday's main event. I like that fight.
That'll be sweet.
Sandhagen's a slight favorite.
Yeah.
Coming off a loss too to Sterling. He got submitted with Sterling quick too. It was like a minute and a half in the first round. He gets submitted.
Yeah, for real.
Who do you guys like in that one? Who do you like, Dalton?
I don't know enough about the fighters to.
You don't know.
Like, I like the fight, but I don't know enough about them to really take one side or the other.
I got Sandman.
You do?
Yeah, I think he comes back good. I mean, I think he got caught.
He did get caught in that fight. In the Sterling fight, yeah, that was a fluke. I think that was a fluke.
And I'm not trying to take anything from Aljamain Sterling because he was great and he looks great and he deserves to be the number one contender. And fight Mr. Petter Yan next. But he went out there and he did his job. But I mean, I think you want to talk about fight like 10 times how it comes out. I think they could split that 5-5 very easily.
Sandhagen's a big 135 too.
Sandman is no joke. He's
5'11",
murderer.
He's 5'11", 70-inch reach. He's a big 135.
Size.
Yeah. I can't picture that. I'm thinking of a guy taller than me. He's tall as Zack, and he's 135 pounds.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
I outweigh that guy by 70 pounds, almost 80 pounds.
Jeez, Jason, put down the ding dongs.
Well, I outweigh him by over 100.
Oh man,
I'm in like the ultra heavy jiu-jitsu weight class.
Dude, I can't wait till we can all go to jiu-jitsu, man. I get Tanner to come.
It was fun, man.
Do you know Tanner? Have you ever met Tanner, Dalton?
I don't
ever met Tanner? He's a big kid. He's probably 260, Zack?
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I rolled with some guy. Who'd I roll with up there, Jason? Zack?
Mason Moyes.
Yeah.
Mason.
No, Tanner is my buddy from the bodybuilding world. So he's not he's a jacked 260 like solid.
Not my buddy Tanner.
But he grapples at it's in South Jordan. I want to say Unified.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's over at Unified. So
those guys are freaking good, man. I train with a black belt. So I train under a black belt from Unified.
Who is it?
Chris Wells. That's who I train under. He's a Unified boy, all through and through. Pedro Sauer, Unified, all those.
He was telling me that he just got a new gi and he's been taking private lessons. And I'm like, dude, we don't wear gis on Saturday. What are you talking about?
None of that gi bullshit.
Hey, Aldo, you heard that, Aldo? You're lucky he's not listening.
Aldo only listens when I tell him to listen.
I'm gonna tag him.
I like the gi, man. I like it. But I'm better no gi. Well, only because I'm a
wrestler.
So LJ Schultz, all joking aside, LJ Schultz explained gi jiu-jitsu is just a different sport.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's totally different.
It's baseball versus slow pitch softball. Like, it's a different sport, right? And no gi. Now, where I would tell people, and I don't love admitting this on my podcast or in general, but I feel like no gi has helped my or rolling in a gi has helped my defense with no gi because it's easier, right?
Yeah.
There's less threats in no gi submission wise.
Yeah.
But
dude, it's ridiculous.
But in your jiu-jitsu too, though, when you're a no gi, we're doing no gi to help us get ready for fights.
Yeah.
You get punched in the face. So like we'll like roll with gloves on sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like there's like positions where like no gi or gi, like I'll just like settle in. And I'm like, yeah, they can't do anything. But if we were in gloves and I was in a fight and I settled into that defensive kind of position to like ride out around,
it's different.
I'd be getting smashed in the face.
It's night and day.
So it's a little bit different, but
I think you're right, man. I like the gi.
There's a benefit to both. I
like both of them. Listen, here's why I like no gi, and here's why I like wrestling and all these other sports. Because in a gi, like I am not a huge fan of the belt system in gi.
Why?
Because first of all, I don't care. Like to me, if we're going, we're going. And the second thing is because I learned I had a really cool childhood experience where in wrestling where you never judge somebody on how they look. And when you have a gi on, you have your belt on. If you see somebody with a purple belt or a blue belt and you're not that high or something like that, there's like some of this ego stuff that goes on in your head, like, oh, he must be better than me or something. And I learned in wrestling that you never judge somebody on how they look. Like this, I've seen the skinniest string bean dudes beat up like massive, like beefy dudes. You know what I mean? Like you look at him, you just look at him and you're like, oh, this dude's going to win because he's beefy. He looks like The Rock. He's going to beat the hell out of this guy. And then this string bean dude puts on a clinic and whoops him.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like the belt system. I do it, but I feel like you get in people's head too much when you see like a white belt walk up to like a blue belt or a purple belt.
Okay. I mean, that's, I understand like physical appearance, but if, you know, I'm a blue belt, whatever that means.
Sure.
I'm a blue belt.
Sure.
And I go and I get paired up to roll with a purple belt. Like I automatically know at least that they have more experience than me.
Sure.
To put in time, but yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't worry about that too, because like, I'm gonna try everything I can to freak.
Yeah, dude. Like we're going. Yeah. Like in wrestling, you could have. There's no belt system. There's only one way they divide you up, and it's the same way they fight, and that's by weight. And you go, and that's it. And I've seen, but you see people beat. You know, we had a guy. We went to the state tournament. The last year I went to the state tournament in wrestling. We had a guy make it who that was his second year wrestling, and he was beating people who wrestled since they were out of the womb in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where it's like
I've caught like a brown belt before. Like it can happen.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean,
it's tough. It's tough. I'm not saying it happens every day.
But that's the beauty of competition, right? That's why because you don't know till you do it. That's
exactly.
Like, that's why you play the game or
whatever.
Right.
And I love just not knowing anything going in. Don't tell me about the dude. Like tell me what I need to know to make myself better and give myself a chance. But other than that, I don't want to hear any of his stats. I don't want to hear any of his other crap. We're going like he puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do.
Put their pants on same way we do.
Oh man.
Ooh.
You guys remember that Lou Holtz? Lou Holtz.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
You know, they put their pants on the same way we do.
That was pretty good, Zach. That was really good.
Ooh, Zack.
I haven't done my Lou Holtz impression for a minute.
What do you guys think of Dana White saying he wants to see that the match to make would be Izzy and John Jones?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. John Jones wins though. I don't know why I don't know why it's a big deal.
You think he wins? You think
wrong?
You think so?
Wrong,
dude.
John Jones.
If he comes in motivated, which I think he will for that fight because he knows it's a fight, he wins.
Yeah.
But wait, 205? It has to be at 205, right?
It has to be at 205.
I thought it was a catch weight.
No. Oh, I don't know. Did they say that?
No,
I don't know. I thought it was. I thought that's what they said, but I could be wrong.
Izzy's big though.
John can't come down. John can't come down any further than 205. So let's just be clear about that. So if they're going to fight at 205, I think Izzy beats him.
Motivated John Jones, not like you've seen his last few fights. You're talking a motivated John Jones.
When's the last time we've seen him?
That'll be fun, dude.
Jones?
But when's the last time he's had a fight to get him up to be motivated?
I don't know. How about you're freaking the main event of a UFC fight and you're the defending champion and go in the cage and blah, 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 and all of his accolades. If you're not excited to fight anymore, get out and go smoke some more coke.
When you've been beating people for the last 10 years in main events, then how come I can't find him on Tapology? I can't find him on Tapology. That's weird.
Dude, John, and we've had this conversation, the motivation. But you know what? At some point too, at some point you have to admit that he's the same killer that he was.
I mean, you look at him, you look at his second fight against Gustafsson. You look at his
but Gus hasn't been the same since.
I know, but he just
that's not the same Gus that they fought the first time around either.
Yeah,
that Gus was already 1 foot the door out. Like he already knew he was on his way out.
That second Cormier fight where he freaking head kicked him and
that was the last time we saw the killer.
I felt so bad for he was crying in the back, man. Yeah.
That was the last time we saw the killer John Jones.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him since then. That's 3 years ago.
I mean, almost lost to Santos. I actually think lost to Santos on my scorecard. Beat a razor thin decision versus Reyes, where I do agree John won that fight. but
yes,
it's close, right?
but it's too close. Yeah, like I said, yeah.
He's already said he
Izzy,
respects Izzy. I think he knows that would be.
He better respect Izzy because Izzy will kick his face off.
Izzy has his fight IQ is.
Izzy is probably, I dare say, Izzy is probably the one guy that in a kickboxing match mops John Jones.
Kickboxing, I could see that.
You know what I mean? John beats Izzy if he can make it ugly and dirty, but Izzy is, I can't stress this enough. John has just been the better athlete in so many of those fights. He's just the better athlete, right? And he can just do things that his opponent can't do and can't really game plan for. This would be the first time I think it would be the better athlete that can do stuff to John that John can't prepare for.
Mm-hmm. Let's just watch, man. That's what I'm excited. If that happens, I think so. I really want John. I like John though.
But this is what else I don't want to see too is I want it to be at 205 because I think Izzy needs to defend his 185 belt a couple more times. Like I don't like this abandoning you're the champion and abandoning or holding up a weight class either. There's a legit number one contender coming up in Robert Whitaker versus Cannonier fight. Jack Hermanson, Darren Till is a legit big boy fight coming up. But at the same time, you don't want to miss the opportunity to do Jones and Izzy either. So it's going to be tough. And knowing Dana and his track record, I'm guessing that's what he's going to push for next.
Not to change the subject, but really quick, there's news out that McGregor may be headlining UFC 256 potentially.
Ooh,
what?
Yeah. Our boy James with UFC Deluxe over our boy from across the pond.
What's the date on that? Is that the January card?
It must be the January card. I'm texting with him in the Twitter.
It's gotta be, but how would he headline it? What title is it for?
I don't know.
Because if it's a pay-per-view, it has to be a title.
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I didn't hear that.
You guys talk about that Conor McGregor. I'll be right back.
He's got to pee. You got to pee before me? Man, that's usually unheard of. Usually I'm the one that has to get up.
Holy crap.
Dalton, do you have Twitter?
No.
Dude, I would recommend getting on there. We've started to get that's actually a bigger platform than like Facebook and Instagram. So we've linked up with some guys back in, they're from all over. A couple of the podcasts we did last week with one guy in Minnesota, another guy in England.
Yeah.
And these guys are legit, man. Like these guys are they break down these fights.
Yeah, on Twitter.
And what they're doing with us is we record the podcast with them and then they help promote ours too. So
man.
If once I post this, I'll tag those guys and then every one of those guys repost it. And it's kind of it's kind of like a networking thing. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit because there's social media, but you can link up with a good group of guys. It's been amazing, but
that's
back
sweet,
to dude, McGregor possibly.
Woo. That'd be cool, man. That'd be way cool.
I don't know who he'd fight,
can I be honest with you? When he beat Donald Cerrone, when he beat Cowboy, I wasn't like that impressed.
No.
How dare you?
I think we all kind of knew that was going to happen.
I like when somebody beats,
That's it, Dalton.
He beat Donald Cerrone. I'm like,
well, we knew he was going to beat. Everybody knew that
everybody knew.
That fight was tailor-made for Conor to come back with.
Tailor-made.
Yeah.
Conor,
I mean, I didn't know that, but now that you say that, it's not surprising because when he beat him, I was like, you beat Cowboy. Come on.
I mean,
you come back from the whole Khabib thing and you fight Cowboy. Now Cowboy would kick my ass, but I'm just saying.
Do you think it's Nate? Do you think maybe it's Nate Diaz?
Nick.
You think it's Nick?
Nick's the fight to make Fury Conor. It's not Nate Diaz right now. It's Nick Diaz.
You don't think so? Even with the trilogy fight?
that fight's always gonna be there, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no rush for that.
Big money fight though with Nick. Dude,
Hey,
he
I'm
works
telling
me.
you, if they can't get it done, you do Connor and Nate, and then you do the Nick Jorge BMF title rematch, and you do it all on one card. That's what you do. And then nobody will care that there's not a pay-per-view. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares that there's not a championship title fight for a pay-per-view if you have the Diaz brothers, Jorge Masvidal, Conor McGregor on your co-main and main event.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys.
They could take all your belts and just shove it.
256 was Usman and Burns, and you guys don't want to hear this, but the fight's off.
No.
Ariel Helwani just tweeted it 30 minutes ago.
Why?
And now
Who?
Coach John Kavanaugh tweets back.
Oh no, it's gonna be Connor and Usman.
Yeah, because they said current talk is January or February. Usman needs a little more time. No new main event yet for 256. Wow.
Oh no.
Oh. Kobe Jorge then for 256?
Heck yeah. Let's go.
No, it's
Jorge wins. Easy fight. Run him over.
Dalton, calm down. Easy.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. What do you want to talk? Do you still want to
fired
talk?
up. I'm fired up.
You keep talking. I have to pee now.
Jeez, man.
But who does Connor fight at 256?
I don't know.
On short note.
Fine.
Or you just let him fight Poirier. Just let him fight Poirier.
Hey, that would be a good fight. Well, they were talking about fighting.
Yeah. Just
like a charity fight or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the UFC wanted to swoop in and take it.
Well, they should, because the fight's going to happen with or without him. And the fight should happen, and they both want to fight each other.
Yeah.
Dana can be as pissed as he want about it, but if they're willing to fight each other enough to go fight in a charity, then just let them fight under the UFC banner and make a bunch of money.
Yeah, and then make a bunch of money and do the charity thing anyway. Good for the UFC, good for the fighters. They want to fight, good for the fans. That's a good one. Yeah, I think so. So
for the interim.
Yeah.
No,
so you're
the interim.
Yeah, man. So what are you doing to train for this November fight, homie?
What do you mean?
Are you getting ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You're getting ready, bro.
Dude, I haven't stopped training since my fight in February.
Good for you.
I haven't stopped.
Like, that guy that fought, though, he won, though. I wasn't super impressed, man.
I was impressed from the standpoint of he took Tanner's best shots and
yeah. I mean, look, taking a punch,
because Tanner hits like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
Two people hit me like that. And it's Ben Moa, who's a heavyweight who fought in the NFL, fought in Bellator, still faced heavyweight champion, and Tanner Hines. That's the list that people that hit like that. And Johan, he took those shots, and I have to respect that.
I think I don't think I don't know. There was a couple times when they were fighting in that main fight, and I was like, I don't know. Listen, you're not gonna catch me in a cage. I'll be like that first fight. Those roly-polies come out there and start fighting, bro. That'd be me, man. I wouldn't
tag Trevor Golden in this.
Did you see Trevor Golden? Somebody tried to roid rage him, and he got out of his car. Can you imagine talking shit to that guy and he gets out of the car?
Oh my gosh.
He's a big dude, man.
They were big.
Just run for 0.2 miles and he's done.
Dude,
Astros just took the lead 6-5. No, it's so I get up and I try. Starting this week, I start doing my 2-a-day work or my double workouts. So I'll do double workouts every day for probably from now till like the next month, 6 days a week. Cutting weight. I am not a natural 185er.
No one is.
Or all natural. He is. That's the other interesting thing is he wanted to move down to 170 because he weighed in, I think at like 183 or 183 and a half with his clothes on.
Yeah, weird.
Tanner.
I'm not used to that, bro.
But there wasn't anybody there for him, I guess, at 170 or that got him interested or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be really careful with my words because I definitely don't want to take away any credit, and he's 8-0. He's not he's no like chump punk easy fight.
Sure.
When you say nothing impressive, he beating to me, I hold Tanner in very high regard. You know,
I wasn't meaning that.
No,
like,
I get what you're saying. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. But anybody that can beat Tanner Hines, like, I mean, that dude's like, he's gonna come to fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna break him. I know that. Like, I'm gonna have to put his lights out, or I'm gonna have to choke him out, or break something, or about break something to get him to tap.
Yeah.
I am.
Is he a wrestler?
It seems like it. Yeah, a little bit more of a wrestler.
He looked like it.
What's
very technical, striking, very technical.
What's his name on
Jeremy
Facebook?
Horn's a wrestler, isn't he?
Yeah.
Joe
Gonzalez.
Joe Gonzalez. I'm gonna add him. Maybe me and Dalton can do the podcast with him.
Sure, go for it. I'll do it with him.
I know.
I have no ill will against him. I just and here's the other thing, and this is my ego thing. I think that Tanner and I are the two best 185ers in the state of Utah.
Sure.
You can rank me or him or whatever, but I think we're the two best 185ers, and I'm not in a competition with him to be number one. But he was 7-0 at 155, and then he beats Tanner at 185, and he automatically jumped up to the number 185er in Utah on Tapology. And I feel like if it's not Tanner Hines, I should be the number 185er on Tapology. So that's what
I learned that too, man. Screw rankings, bro.
You got to fight the guy out of Vegas, Zack.
Just a bunch of guys behind a screen.
Hey,
I hate rankings.
Hey, Jason.
Screw the rankings, bro.
Jason.
What?
Blow me.
I'm giving him shit because the promoter from the Vegas thing called and wanted Zack to fight. What is he, like the number one?
You told me that.
The number one 205 guy in like the West Coast.
There's a reason why they can't find a fight for him at 185 too.
Yeah.
Then nobody will fight him at 185.
Yeah.
Guess who else is on that list? It's not fighting him at 185.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, I'm totally honest. I watched one of his fights. I think that there is a recipe to beat him, and he's a monster, and he's tough. And I mean, I very well could get knocked out by him or whatever. I've seen him train at jiu-jitsu competitions. I've seen him in a gi. I mean, this kid's an all around stud, but nobody will fight him at 185, and he keeps fighting 205ers. And I know he wants to fight at 185 probably a couple times before he goes pro at 185. But I mean, I legit think you're going to see that kid on the Dana White Contender Series in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
When you've gotten to the point, and here's the other thing too, when nobody will fight you at a weight class at the amateur level, it's time for you to go pro. Why isn't he going pro? Like when I'm getting goaded into fighting somebody that can't find a fight at 185, it makes me feel like I'm being set up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
100%. And then the competitor in me is like, oh yeah, I'll go piss on your Cheerios and all your rankings and all that. Like, let's do this. Yeah. But it's like, and then that's why you have coaches and stuff. That's like, no, dummy, we're not taking this fight.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happened the first time they offered it. At first I was like, no, forget that. And then I watched a couple of his fights and I started talking myself into it. I went to my coach. I'm like, hey man, like, I think that if we do this, this, and this, like we could, like, I'll give myself a chance to beat this guy. My coach is like, no, you're not fighting this. You're supposed to be moving. I'm supposed to be working down to moving towards 170, not fighting guys that are winning at 205.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Dude, speaking of Contender Series, this fight card that's here is filled with guys that we could be seeing in the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest.
You got
we have a bunch of guys coming up. We have a Mountain Force. Our guy Cole Schaefer fighting for Mountain Force, right? He could very well be on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Within the next 2 years, because I think the requirements for Contender Series is only like 3-0, right, or 4-0 minimum.
I'm not sure what the minimum is, but
right.
You definitely. I mean, him.
No. Bobby King,
who's going to be in the main event.
If he beats Steven Seiler, he's right there.
He's there.
Man.
You got to put him up there.
Big show, right? Zack Cavender, he gets on the winning streak. We could see him there in the next, 12
man.
Mitch Ramirez.
Mitch freaking Ramirez.
Yeah.
You could say whatever you want about him and Trevor Bradshaw fight, and I like both guys. And I love both of their fighting styles. They're both violent and they're both killers, and they're gonna try to knock each other's heads off. Somebody's gonna get knocked out in the first round. If that fight goes the over to the second round, I will be shocked.
You know what really intrigued me about this? What really intrigued me about that fight, and we're gonna have Trevor on next week, is he's fighting at 155 when he's normally taking those fights at bigger weight classes just to take fights. And now he's going to be conditioned. He's going to be ready. He's going to be a brawl. Like that, somebody's getting knocked out.
Yeah, man.
Like Mitch is 2-0 as a pro with 2 highlight reel KOs.
Well, and
highlight reels.
Go look at the guys that Mitch is beaten. He's their only loss pros.
Oh, is he really?
The guy, remember the guy they both made their pro debut against?
Oh, that Ryan Newman kid's legit. Yeah.
He's 3-0 since Mitch mopped his next 3 opponents.
Yeah. And what about the guy that he
Mitch
fought?
murdered him.
Yeah. And what about the guy that he head kicked at LFA?
He still hasn't woken up.
Dude, Dalton, it was probably one of the most brutal head kicks, like 30 seconds into the fight, just picture perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Yeah, that card, we will definitely, they haven't set the date, but as soon as the date is confirmed, I am crossing my fingers.
Tentatively
the 14th, but they're trying to get it to be the 21st.
No, that Michael Garcia, he had one loss before that. He was 3-1 when he fought Mitch, dropped to 3-2, beat Kerry Latimer in the first round. He's now 4-2 as a pro.
Yeah, that whole card, man, I'm hoping it's to the 21st. You'll have to mark your calendar, Dalton, if that fight's
yes,
going.
sir. Yes, sir.
We will be there. Zack is trying to lobby to be the first fight too, so he can watch.
It'll be the first fight, so I can get it done and over with and go.
That's right.
It's too bad, Cody. We couldn't just be the announcers for the thing and just sit there and do a live stream.
Yeah. Why the heck can't we?
I don't know. I don't know what it would take to do that. But it'd be pretty cool if we could all just get on there and just live stream it.
Well, I'm fighting, so that would be tough.
Well, after your fight, you go first. You come out.
Get me mic'd up for my fight, and I'll call my own fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You could take it off right before you get in the cage.
All three. Yeah, and then me and Jason will be there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Dude, we need to hit Cody up. Cody.
I just realized I have to go train in the next 35 minutes.
Yeah, I got to go to the gym too.
We can do this forever.
Yeah, for a good time.
We could, dude. Freaking sweet, man.
Dalton's good to have you on again, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I will get this loaded up and we'll get this launched, and there we go.
Share it to the moon, bruh. Thank you.
We are out. Thank you.